fellow's life. Randy Jackson is here. Randy, look, tell me why you took on this cause, why you decided you wanted to help a little treasure, and get beyond, look, I'm driving back home, and I stop, and I see the story, and I'm moved. And tell me why you took this gesture, because a lot of people saw the story, and how this fits into the family's humanitarian mission.
Well, first, let me thank you for allowing me to be here. Pleasure meeting you.
It's good to talk to you.
Good to talk to you. When I saw her story on the news, it penetrated my heart when she said that to her mom she was afraid she was going to die. And she has a paper pinned up on her wall in her room that says "Still alive." And I said, I have to do what I can to help this little girl. Something that we've always done, something, of course, that my brother did all of his career, and something that we stand for. I'm just continuing what we do.
Yes. Will you be moving forward with more efforts like this? Will the family continue to pick up this torch and run with it?
Yes. We've spent a lot of our careers giving back. We've had a lot of success. God has been good to us. But I think there's another calling. And I've been discussing this with my brothers to get more involved with philanthropic charitable work.
Here's the amazing thing. You decide you want to help Treasure, which in essence is helping her doctors save her life.
Sure.
Dr. Conrad Murray, in essence, when you cut through all of it, is charged with not doing enough to protect and even save your brother's life. So where do things stand in the investigation? What do you think of how the investigation is progressing at this point?
Well, let me say that I have a great deal of faith in the judicial system, as well as the LAPD, and of course the Deputy DA. I just think that I wish they would have taken Murray's license away. I wish that. But there's a lot of unanswered questions around Murray. I think he's changed his story a lot of times. And now he's talking about maybe my brother did it himself, which turns my stomach. But I think this goes beyond Murray even. I think Murray has a part in it, but I don't think he was acting alone.
You don't think he was acting alone?
No, I don't.
You care to elaborate on that?
Without saying too much, I started to question some of the people who were around my brother. And when you look at the environment around my brother leading up to his death, there's a lot of strange coincidences. He was very afraid for his life. He was threatened that his children would be taken away from him. He was threatened that his assets would be taken from him. He was threatened that they would take his home if he didn't do what was asked of him by the powers that be. Let's just say that.
I certainly want to explore that a bit more, but let's isolate one moment in that. What do you believe was Conrad Murray's role in Michael's death?
There are a lot of things that aren't quite clear about whether what he did, because he changes his story constantly. Now he's saying, well, one time he was saying my brother did it to himself, and I thought that was crazy. Now he's saying that maybe he did a little bit, and he wasn't the only one, somebody else did this to him. I think Murray does play a part in it. I think he does know more. I don't think he's telling the full truth. I think that will come out in the investigation.
Okay. Do you think he should be facing an enhanced charge beyond involuntary manslaughter?
Absolutely.
What would be appropriate in your mind?
Well, first of all, just because even the fact that they allowed him to continue practicing. I mean, he's accused of
involuntary manslaughter.
Involuntary manslaughter with propofol, and to allow him to continue with this practice, I think is really not okay. And as the investigation unfolds, there'll be more that will come out.
Okay. Second-degree murder? Would that feel more appropriate to you?
First-degree murder would be appropriate. Yes.
You also have some questions in your mind about the heavily contested will Michael Jackson's will, don't we?
Yes. I question the authenticity of the will when my family questions the authenticity of the will. I can't speak too in depth about it, but let me go back.
Sure.
When my brother passed, we were all shocked, torn, just besides ourselves. It was a difficult time for my family. Before we could even begin to grieve, everything was sort of rushed on us. There was these lawyers and accountants pushing these papers on us, people showing up, faces that I knew that my brother didn't care for, people he wouldn't even let in his home, pushing these documents, one of which was his will. And I don't think the will was even complete. I was at the Staples Center preparing for the memorial, and I was talking to my sisters on the phone, Janet and Tori, and they were telling me what's going on. And I was shocked that it was almost like there was this big plan in place that we didn't know about. And there was a plan, but what they were pushing on us was very sloppy.
Yeah.
My brother, I can say this much. My brother, he took pride in being a father. He loved his children. He would never misspell his own children's name, nor would he allow the misspelling of his children's name to appear on a document so important to their lives. That's one of the things I will say that's wrong with his will, because there are many other things that will come out in the investigation.
Okay, let's take a quick break and come back with more with Randy Jackson. You're in the CNN Newsroom.